Hi, this is Tariq Jamal, and we're here to present Book 4, Unit 1, Grammar 2 presentation. What do you need to know? What is an adjective? What is a count noun? Non-count noun? What is a singular count noun? What is a plural count noun? What is a possession? So basically, we're doing a recap first here for Grammar 1. We have covered these in our Grammar 1 presentation, and now we're just doing a short recap. Descriptive adjectives, right? This is what we're going to focus on. A and the with adjective plus noun. A and the are our articles and possessive adjectives. And we have already discussed what possessive adjectives are, right? That's something that belongs to you. That is your possession. All right, so we have some pictures here with sentences. So once again, just go through it, have a look at it, and try to understand how these sentences are done. And of course, try to figure out which one is noun, which one is adjective. Because remember, adjective describes noun. And of course, descriptive adjectives, it also describes nouns, right? Because descriptive means you're describing, all right? So have a look at the picture for a minute and then we will move on. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Count nouns. Count nouns are things that we can count, correct? This is what we have discussed in Grammar 1. So something that you can count, those are countable nouns, right? So look at the pictures, 5 apples, correct? If we count them, these are 5, and this is something that you can count. 2 chairs, right? 6 students, 3 cats. Plural count nouns are groups of things more than one. All right. An apple, a chair, a student, a cat, right? So now, what are these? Why we have an apple, a chair, a student, and a cat, right? A singular count noun is one count noun. We use a or an before a singular count noun. So remember this. We use a or an before a singular count noun. A comes before nouns that start with a consonant sound. All right. And what is consonant? In alphabets, there are 5 letters which are A, E, I, O, U. These are called vowels, right? And any other letters other than these 5 letters, A, E, I, O, U, are consonant, all right? And before that, if the noun starts with a consonant sound, then we use A. And for the vowels, which is A, E, I, O, U, we use an, all right? So I want you all to read this on your own before we move on because we will be doing some exercises going forward. So I want you all to go through this now and understand it so that you guys can do those exercises on your own. So this is going to be basically a test of your understanding that how well did you understand the presentation so that you can do the exercises. So I will leave this here on the screen for a minute, understand it, and then we will move on. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. Adjectives with singular count nouns. So once again, go through the pictures, go through the rules. Everything is on the screen. I want you all to read that to yourself first, and then we'll go through it together before we move on to the next slide. And as I have mentioned earlier, that there will be some exercises that you will be doing on your own. You'll be practicing them as we move forward. So just have a look at the screen for a minute. All right, so let's try to understand this. When adjectives go in front of singular nouns, put a slash an before the adjective. Remember the rules for a and an? All right. A red apple. So, of course, apple is noun, right? What kind of apple? Red. And apple is singular, right? So we are using a red apple. An uncomfortable chair. A smart student. A cute cat, right? Cat is noun, correct? Singular, we're using a, and adjective is cute. Don't use a or an when your sentence follows singular noun plus be verb plus adjective structure, all right? So you're not going to use a or an when your sentence follows singular noun, be verb, and adjective. The examples are right there on the screen. I want you all to just read that for a few seconds and just understand it on your own, and then we will move on. All right, now we are going to move on to our next slide here. And here we go. Choose whether each sentence needs an indefinite article, which is a, and a definite article, the, or no article. So now I want you all to remember the rules. He asked me blank very hard question. So what are you going to do? Are you going to put an, a, or the, or maybe nothing? Just he asked me very hard question. I want you all to think and answer it, and then we will go to the next slide to see if you guys have got it correct. And for every slide that where we will be having these questions, I will leave it there for 30 seconds, all right? And then we will move on. So please remember, because going forward for this presentation, we will have a lot of slides like this, where you will be answering question. So for every question, I will leave this slide on for 30 seconds. All right? And then, of course, we will move on to the next slide so that we can check our answer. All right. So let's do this, and then we will move on to the next slide in 30 seconds. All right. So he asked me a very hard question, right? So remember, very hard question, right? So we don't have vowel sound here, right? It did not start with A, E, I, O, U, so we're not going to put an, correct? So our option is, he asked me a very hard question. So we still need to put an article here, and it will be A. All right, let's do this one. So blank, the question that he asked me was easy. A, an, or the, or no article. So the question that he asked me was easy. Correct? So here we are using the because we're not using an for obvious reason, correct? It's not A, E, I, O, U. And then we are talking about the question, right? That he asked me was easy. Next one here. Have you seen blank my scarf? So no article with possessive adjectives, all right? And just think about it. Have you seen, if we put a and then my scarf, does it make sense? The sentence won't make sense, right? Have you seen the my scarf? Still sentence doesn't make sense. Have you seen an my scarf? No, right? So here we're not using any articles, and remember with possessive adjectives we're not using any article. Now I want you all to think, if I take my away, if I say have you seen blank scarf, there's no my, then should we use an article or not? I want you all to think that on your own for a few seconds. Have you seen blank scarf? There's no my, all right? I want you all to think that for a few seconds. All right, the next one. Could you please pass me blank salt? What are we going to put there? A and D or nothing, right? Let's check. Let's see what did you guys do. So, is that what you had? Could you please pass me the salt? Think about it. So A and, right? So that's singular, right? Salt is what? Salt is something that we cannot count, right? So obviously it's not singular, so we're not going to use a or an. So our option is D. All right, let's go through this one, please. Is there blank good restaurant around here? So is there A and D or nothing, right? Think about it. If this is singular, plural, right? So is there a good restaurant around here? Because we are talking about one restaurant, right? We're asking about a restaurant. So that is why we're using A. All right, let's move on. All right. So, a restaurant that my friend owns is very good, and restaurant, the restaurant, or just restaurant that my friend owns is very good. So again, I want you all to think that what is this sentence talking about, right? Singular, plural, right? We need to understand that. I want you all to focus on that. So the restaurant that my friend owns is very good, right? So we're not talking about one particular restaurant, right? So that is why we are not going to say a restaurant. We're saying the restaurant that my friend owns is very good. Among so many restaurants around, we're talking about the restaurant that my friend owns is very good. All right, let's move on. I have several good friends, right? Several A good friends and the no article. Think about it. Several means more than one, right? So obviously, if we have several, then after that, can we use A or an? This is something you have to understand and you have to know. And then I have several the good friends. Is sentence gonna make sense? Think that way and see what you have got as your answer. So, no article, right? Nothing. This sentence itself is good. I have several good friends, period. That's it. All right? All right, let's move on. Again, think and see if you are going in the right direction. All right, let's check. The USA is a beautiful country, right? Okay, let's check this one, please. So, I will see you in a week, right? Not I will see you in an week because it's not A, E, I, O, U. I will see you in the week. No, it doesn't sound right. I will see you in a week. Let's do this one, please. All right. I am on blank vacation until Monday. So, what do you think? No article, right? I am on vacation until Monday because think about it. I am on a vacation because vacation is not like something that you can count, right? It's vacation, right? So we're not going to say A or N. We're just going to say I am on vacation until Monday. All right. So now we're moving on to possessive adjectives. So we have already discussed it in our presentation one. Possessive adjectives show possession and belonging, right? Something that belongs to you, something which is yours, all right? They are written before nouns, count and non-count, right? There is a different possessive adjective for each subject. So once again, possessive adjectives show possession and belonging, right? That it belongs to someone, it belongs to him or her, it belongs to you, all right? So now I want you all to go through this chart that we have, subject, pronoun, and then possessive adjective. I want you all to go through this for a minute or two, and then we'll move on to some exercises that you guys will be doing on your own. So go through it, understand it, and then hopefully you guys will be able to do the exercises that are going to follow after this slide. So please go through it for next couple of minutes. Understand it, please. All right, guys. I'm moving on to the next slide. So be prepared to test your knowledge on possessive adjectives, all right? Let's move on. Each sentence has adjectives. Circle the possessive adjectives underline the descriptive adjectives, right? So remember that descriptive adjective describe noun, possessive adjectives show possession or belonging, right? Something that belongs to you or someone, and descriptive, you're describing noun, correct? All right, so let's do it. I will leave it for a few seconds, 30 seconds or so, and then we'll see if you guys were able to get it right. All right, so let's check. His sister is sleepy, right? So his is possessive, right? And sister is sleepy. Sleepy is descriptive. His sister is what? Sleepy, right? So that's descriptive adjective. And whose sister? His sister. So that's belonging, right? His sister. So that's possessive. Muhammad loves to wash his orange car. So his, of course, is possessive, right? And orange car, right? What kind of car? Orange car, correct? My hobby is playing football, right? So mine is possessive and playing football. What is it? Playing football, right? All right, so let's do this one, please. And I will leave it here for like 45 seconds or so because there are three of them, and then we will move on. All right, let's check. So their favorite TV show is very old, right? So of course there is possessive adjective, right? And TV show is noun. So what kind of TV show? Favorite TV show, right? Is very old. Is very what? Old. So these are our descriptive adjectives, right? And there is possessive. So last week was my most difficult week in school. So we know that my is possessive difficult is descriptive, right? I lost my new iPhone 6. What kind of iPhone? Because iPhone obviously is. I want you all to understand this when we are doing our answers. The word which is in red, you guys should know what that is, right? That is noun, correct? I want you all to understand that. So, what kind of iPhone? New iPhone, right? So that is descriptive adjective. My, whose new phone? Mine. So it is possessive. All right, you have one more slide here, and we'll move on to the next one after this. So go through this, please. So, your red tie looks very nice, right? So, your, obviously by now you guys know the possessive adjectives, right? His, ours, my, theirs, right? Hers, its. All right. So, red tie, right? What kind of tie? Red tie. So, red is obviously descriptive adjective, right? So tie is noun and we are describing the noun. So red is descriptive, right? Looks very nice. It looks what? Nice. So nice again is descriptive adjective, right? His manager is very tired. So we know manager is noun, right? And we are saying his manager. Whose manager? His. So obviously that is possessive and is very tired. Is very what? Tired. So we're describing the manager as tired. So that is descriptive, right? KFU, of course, is noun, right? It's a place. It's an university, right? Is my favorite university. So my, of course, is the possession, right? So it is possessive. University, we know that is noun. So what kind of university? Favorite, right? So that is descriptive, right? All right, let's move on. All right, go through this, please. All right, so I want you all to go through this and see if you guys are getting it the way we have done it, all right? Meaning, are you guys on the right direction? So I will leave it here for a minute. Just go through it and try to understand it on your own now. All right, let's move on. So now I want you all to write two sentences with both a descriptive adjective and a possessive adjective, all right? So you're writing a sentence where you will have descriptive and possessive adjective. I want you all to go back to the slide here, have a look here, try to get an understanding how we have written a sentence where we have both descriptive and possessive adjectives. All right, let's go through it for a few seconds and then we'll move on so that you guys can write on your own. All right, so now please write two sentences with both a descriptive adjective and a possessive adjective in it. All right, and I will give you just two minutes for it, please. All right, let's move on. So let's have a look at these sentences. All right, let's move on now. So is the underlying adjective possessive or descriptive, right? So you guys should have a better understanding of this by now. So just do this exercises. There will be few more. My mother is friendly, helpful, and brilliant, right? So my is underlined. So is this descriptive or possessive? And I will just give you a few seconds for it, all right? All right, let's check. So my mother is friendly, helpful, and brilliant. So my is possessive, right? All right, let's move on. They are always kind to their amazing teacher. All right. So again, there is possessive, right? There. I usually travel to distant places that have a lot of natural beauty. All right. So natural beauty, right? So natural is underlined and it is descriptive because we are describing that where do I travel? So I travel to places which has natural beauty, right? So it is descriptive. All right. So now taking risky challenges will help you to achieve your goals. So think about it and see if it is possessive or descriptive. All right. So again, we are talking about challenges, right? So what kind of challenges? Risky challenges. So we are describing challenges, right? So it is descriptive. All right. So now, which sentence is correct? So I want you all to read these sentences and choose the correct one. A, B, C. All right. Want you all to think about subject, verb. All right. Object. All right. So which one is correct? How many of you have got it right? Think that why did I get it right? Why did I get it wrong? I like cars fast. I like fast cars. I like cars is fast. So look if the verb is at the right place, right? Subject is all right, object is okay, adjective is all right. So what do we see here? I like fast cars. So right, so we have subject, we have verb, right? We have adjective here as well, and then we have cars, right? Now that we are describing what kind of cars? Fast cars. Right, go through this one, please. All right, so look at the sentences and see which one is correct that we have. Do you guys have the same one? And just read it to yourself and understand that how did we make this sentence. All right, we are moving on. Which sentence is correct? Ali is reading a new book. Ali reading a new book is. Ali is reading a book new. So go through these sentences. Think about it. If our verb is at the right place, subject is all right, object is okay, right? Then do we have adjective right before the noun, right? So that we are describing it correctly or not. So I want you all to think that for a minute or two, and then we will move on and see if you guys have got it right. All right, let's move on to see if you guys are getting the understanding of these sentences. So, what do we see here? Ali is reading a new book, right? So, look, for the first sentence, which is the correct one, correct? Ali is our noun, subject, is, right? Be verb, right? Reading. What is he doing? He's reading a new book. So, what kind of book? New book. And then we have, it's a singular, right? And we are putting a in front of it. So, that is the correct form of the sentence. Ali is reading a new book. All right, so I hope that you guys have understood that how are we creating sentences, how are we using the verb and subject, and have our adjectives. So with this, we are finishing our grammar presentation for Unit 1. And remember, so the grammar that we have done is adjectives, right? Descriptive and possessive adjectives. And of course, we also have covered articles in it. So I want you all to go through this presentation, understand it, practice, try to create more sentences, try to figure out which one is possessive adjective in a sentence, which one is a descriptive adjective in a sentence. And when I'm writing a sentence, am I using the verb correctly, right? Am I putting the subject at the right place? So this is very important for you guys to understand that how does the adjective works? What are we using? How are we using the articles? So my advice to you guys, please practice as much as you can. Go through the presentation, do as many exercises as you can, and that is going to help you. All right, so we are finishing our presentation here, and I wish you all best of luck. Thank you, and you all have a good day.